In the bustling streets of downtown Chicago, Officer Neo Ramirez gripped his baton tightly as he approached the disheveled man slumped against a graffiti-covered wall. The guy looked like trouble, long, unkempt hair matted with what Neo assumed was the grime of street life, and his clothes screamed activist with rainbow pins glaring defiantly. Without a second thought, Neo barked orders for the man to stand, his mind racing with the recent spate of protests turning violent. And in a fit of authority, he decided to make an example by forcing a public shave to clean him up right there on the sidewalk, drawing a crowd of onlookers. Neo had always prided himself on being a no-nonsense cop, the kind who kept order in a city that seemed to spiral more each day. Born and raised in a conservative Hispanic family in the suburbs, he joined the force straight out of high school, driven by a sense of duty and a rigid belief in law and order. But lately, the lines blurred with the rising tensions around LGBTQ rights marches clashing with counter-protests. Neo didn't hate gay people, he just didn't understand them. Why make such a fuss? Life was hard enough without parading personal business. That afternoon, the man he targeted, Daniel Hargrove, was no ordinary protester. Daniel was a federal judge, incognito amid the crowd to observe the unrest firsthand, his usual polished demeanor hidden under a disguise for anonymity. As the clippers buzzed and hair fell to the pavement, Daniel's eyes burned with quiet fury, but he said nothing, letting the humiliation unfold. The crowd murmured, phones out recording every snip. Neo felt a rush of power, thinking this would deter others from disrupting the peace. But as he finished and stepped back, wiping sweat from his brow, a fellow officer whispered urgently in his ear, "That's Judge Hargrove, you idiot. The one presiding over the police brutality cases." Neo's stomach dropped. The man, now bald and exposed, rose slowly, brushing off stray hairs with dignity. "Officer Ramirez," Daniel said calmly, his voice steady despite the red flush on his cheeks. "You'll be hearing from me." Neo stammered an apology, but it was too late. The video was already viral, sparking outrage across social media. Back at the precinct, Neo's captain tore into him, warning of lawsuits and suspensions. That night, alone in his apartment, Neo replayed the incident, guilt gnawing at him. Why had he assumed the worst? Was it the rainbow pins? The man's soft-spoken demeanor? For the first time, Neo questioned his biases, staring at his reflection in the mirror, wondering if he was the one who needed cleaning up. Daniel, meanwhile, returned to his upscale condo overlooking Lake Michigan, the sting of the shave lingering more emotionally than physically. At 42, he had climbed the judicial ladder through sheer intellect and resilience, coming out as gay in law school despite family backlash. His parents, devout Catholics from a small town in Iowa, had disowned him initially, only reconciling years later on fragile terms. Judging cases involving discrimination had become his passion, a way to fight the battles he once lost personally. But this incident hit differently. It was public, raw, a reminder that even power couldn't shield him from prejudice. He filed a formal complaint, but as he sat in his study, reviewing the bodycam footage, something about Officer Ramirez intrigued him. The cop's eyes had shown a flicker of regret, buried under bravado. Daniel decided to request a personal meeting, not just for accountability, but to understand the man behind the badge. Their first encounter post-incident was tense, set in a neutral coffee shop near the courthouse. Neo arrived in civilian clothes, looking uncomfortable without his uniform. "Judge Hargrove, I don't know what to say. I messed up bad." Daniel sipped his black coffee, studying Neo's rugged features, dark hair, strong jaw, eyes that avoided direct contact. "Start with why," Daniel replied. "Why target me? Was it the hair? Or something else?" Neo hesitated, then admitted, "You looked like one of those activists causing chaos. And yeah, the pins. I guess I jumped to conclusions." The conversation stretched, revealing layers. Neo shared his upbringing, the pressure to be tough, the fear of anything that challenged norms. Daniel opened up about his journey, the isolation of being gay in a straight world, the small victories in court that felt hollow without personal connection. By the end, an uneasy truce formed, with Neo agreeing to community service at an LGBTQ center as informal penance. As weeks passed, Neo threw himself into the service, initially reluctant. He helped organize events, listened to stories of discrimination that mirrored Daniel's. One evening, during a support group, a young man shared a tale of police harassment that echoed Neo's actions. Shame washed over him anew. He texted Daniel afterward, "I get it now, sort of." Daniel responded, inviting him for dinner, not as judge and offender, but as equals. Over pasta in Daniel's kitchen, barriers crumbled. Neo confessed his confusion, how the center's openness stirred unfamiliar feelings. "I've never thought about, guys that way, but talking to you, it's different." Daniel smiled faintly, his heart quickening. "Different how?" Neo met his gaze, vulnerability raw. "Like maybe I've been blind to a lot." Their bond deepened subtly, walks along the lakeshore turning into late-night talks. Neo grappled with emerging attraction, questioning his identity. Society's expectations weighed heavy. His family, fellow officers, the macho culture of the force. Rumors spread at the precinct, whispers of the cop who went soft. One colleague confronted him. "You hanging with that judge? Careful, man. People talk." Neo bristled, defending Daniel fiercely, surprising himself. Meanwhile, Daniel faced his own conflicts. Colleagues warned of ethical lines. A relationship with someone involved in a complaint could taint his impartiality. Yet, the connection felt real, a spark amid life's drudgery. A turning point came during a heated protest downtown. Neo was on duty, the crowd chanting for equality. Spotting Daniel in the mix, not disguised this time, Neo's protective instincts surged. When a counter-protester shoved Daniel, Neo intervened swiftly, de-escalating without force. Later, in a quiet alley, Daniel thanked him. "You didn't have to." Neo pulled him close, their first embrace electric. "Yeah, I did." But joy was short-lived. The incident reignited media scrutiny, painting Neo as biased, Daniel as compromised. The media storm hit like a hurricane, headlines screaming about the shaving cop and the gay judge in a forbidden alliance. Neo's suspension loomed, his captain citing conflict of interest. "You're too close to this, Ramirez. Step back." At home, Neo's phone buzzed with messages from family, his brother mocking, "What's this about you and some dude?" Dad's furious. The weight crushed him, doubts creeping in. Was this worth appending his life? Daniel, too, felt the pressure. A superior pulled him aside. "Hargrove, your personal life is bleeding into professional. Recuse yourself from related cases." Daniel nodded outwardly, but inside, resentment brewed. Why must he hide for propriety's sake? They met secretly in a park at dusk, benches empty under autumn leaves. "This is harder than I thought," Neo admitted, hands clasped tight. Daniel reached over, fingers intertwining. "We've both fought battles alone. Maybe together we can win this one." Their kiss was tentative, a release of pent-up emotion, but laced with fear. Neo pulled back. "What if I'm not ready? What if this ruins everything?" Daniel's eyes softened. "Then we take it slow, but don't let fear win." Neo dove deeper into self-reflection, attending therapy sessions at the center. He learned terms like internalized homophobia, realizing his upbringing had suppressed parts of him. Stories from others resonated, men who came out late, facing backlash but finding peace. One night, he confided in Daniel over wine. "I think I've always felt this way but pushed it down. You make me want to face it." Daniel shared his own scars, the ex who left when his career soared, the loneliness of the bench. "Judging others is easy. Judging myself is hell." Social conflicts escalated. At a family gathering, Neo's father confronted him. "Son, rumors are flying. Tell me it's not true." Neo swallowed hard. "Dad, it's complicated. But Daniel, he's a good man." The argument exploded, accusations of betrayal flying. "You're throwing away your heritage for this?" Neo stormed out, heart aching. Daniel comforted him later, but the rift widened wounds. Professionally, Neo testified in a hearing about his actions that day. Under oath, he admitted bias. I profiled him based on appearance and assumptions about his sexuality. It was wrong. The admission went viral, some praising his honesty, others calling him weak. Daniel watched from afar, pride swelling. But a new case landed on his docket, a lawsuit against the police department for discrimination, with Neo as a key witness. Ethics demanded recusal, but Daniel hesitated, believing he could be fair. Tensions peaked at a gala for LGBTQ rights. Daniel attended as honoree, Neo his +1, defying whispers. A reporter cornered them. "Judge, is this relationship influencing your rulings?" Daniel responded firmly, "My personal life doesn't dictate justice." But doubt seeded. Later, alone, Neo voiced fears. "What if they're right? Am I dragging you down?" Daniel cupped his face. "No, you're lifting me up." Yet external pressures mounted. Neo's precinct assigned him desk duty, colleagues ostracizing him. "Traitor," one muttered. Daniel faced a petition for his removal, citing perceived bias. In a heated moment, Neo snapped at Daniel. "Maybe we should have never started this." Hurt flashed in Daniel's eyes. "Is that what you want?" Neo shook his head, pulling him into a hug. "No. God, no." Reconciliation came through small acts. Neo volunteered more, organizing a workshop on police LGBTQ relations. Daniel supported quietly, their bond strengthening amid adversity. But a bombshell dropped. Leaked emails from Neo's captain suggesting a cover-up of similar incidents. Daniel, presiding over a related inquiry, felt torn. Recuse or proceed? He chose to step aside, prioritizing integrity. Neo respected it, but it strained them. "I don't want to be the reason you compromise," Neo said. Daniel replied, "You're the reason I fight harder." As winter set in, they found solace in routine. Cooking together, sharing dreams. Neo came out to a trusted friend on the force, receiving unexpected support. "About time, man." It bolstered him. But society pushed back. A conservative group protested outside the courthouse, signs reading, "No gay agenda, injustice." Daniel addressed them from steps. "Justice is for all, regardless of who we love." Neo stood beside him, hand in hand, cameras flashing. The public display ignited a firestorm, dividing opinions. Supporters rallied online with "Love wins justice," while detractors flooded talk shows, claiming corruption. Neo's family rift deepened. His mother called tearfully, "We love you, but it's hard." He hung up, frustration boiling. Daniel noticed his withdrawal. "Talk to me," he urged. Neo sighed. "I feel like I'm losing everything for this." Daniel's voice cracked. "Am I not worth it?" The question hung heavy, leading to their first major fight. Neo stormed out, wandering Chicago's icy streets, thoughts swirling. Was love enough against the world? He returned hours later, apologetic. "You're worth everything. I'm just scared." They made up, vulnerability forging deeper intimacy. Neo explored his identity further, reading books Daniel recommended, attending Pride events incognito. One such event, a film screening about gay history, moved him to tears. "I see myself in these stories," he whispered. Daniel squeezed his hand. "Welcome home." Professionally, challenges intensified. Neo faced an internal affairs investigation for fraternizing with a judicial figure. He defended himself passionately. "This isn't about favoritism. It's about humanity." The board suspended him temporarily, a blow to his ego. Daniel, meanwhile, handled a high-profile case involving a gay teen assaulted by officers. Though recused from Neos matters, parallels haunted him. Ruling in favor of the plaintiff, he emphasized reform. The badge must protect, not persecute. Backlash ensued. Threats arrived anonymously, forcing Daniel to heighten security. Neo, off-duty, became his unofficial bodyguard, their roles reversing. "I started this mess," Neo said. "Let me fix it." Daniel chuckled. "You can't fix society overnight." A pivotal moment came during a community forum. Neo spoke publicly. "As an officer, I failed that day. But as a man discovering his truth, I've learned empathy. The audience split, applause and boos. Daniel watched proudly from the crowd. Afterward, a young gay officer approached Neo. You give me hope. It validated his journey. Yet personal doubts lingered. Daniel's ex resurfaced, offering closure but stirring jealousy in Neo. He wants you back, Neo accused. Daniel reassured. I chose you. The exchange highlighted insecurities, Neo's newness to this world, Daniel's established life. Social conflicts climaxed at a holiday party. Neo's sister invited him, hinting reconciliation. He brought Daniel tensions palpable. His father grumbled greetings, but over dinner, stories flowed. Daniel's charm won some over, sharing judicial anecdotes. By evening's end, his father pulled Neo aside. He's all right. Just give us time. It was progress, fragile but real. Emboldened, they planned a weekend getaway to Michigan's dunes, escaping scrutiny. Amid sand and waves, Neo opened fully. I love you, Daniel. All of me. Daniel reciprocated, their connection solidifying. But reality intruded. A call about a riot downtown, pulling Neo back mentally. Upon return, a scandal broke. Evidence of systemic bias in the department, implicating Neo's superiors. Daniel was assigned oversight. I have to recuse, he said. Neo nodded. Do what's right. The inquiry revealed cover-ups, leading to firings. Neo testified again, exposing truths. Gratitude from the community poured in, but so did hate mail. One night, vandals targeted Daniel's car, spray-painting slurs. Neo's rage flared. This has to stop. Daniel calmed him. It will with time. Their relationship evolved into quiet strength. Neo pursued promotion, focusing on reform units. Daniel mentored young lawyers advocating change. Together, they hosted dinners for mixed groups, cops and activists, fostering dialogue. But undercurrents of controversy persisted. A tabloid article questioned Daniel's rulings, alleging favoritism. He sued for defamation, winning, but the toll showed. Is this our life now? He asked Neo. Constant battle? Neo held him. As long as we're together. As spring thawed the city, renewal mirrored their lives. Neo reinstated fully, assigned to community policing, a role suiting his growth. He trained rookies on sensitivity, drawing from experience. Assumptions kill trust, he'd say. Daniel, buoyed by support, authored an op-ed on justice and identity, garnering acclaim. Their story inspired a documentary pitch which they declined for privacy. Yet shadows loomed. A national debate on police reform spotlighted their incident, politicians using it for agendas. Conservatives decried woke infiltration. Liberals hailed progress. Neo and Daniel navigated interviews carefully, emphasizing humanity over politics. Personal milestones marked growth. Neo came out to his entire family via a letter, receiving mixed responses, support from siblings, silence from parents. At a barbecue, his mother hugged Daniel. Thank you for making him happy. His father remained distant, but sent a card. Thinking of you. It was enough for now. Conflicts arose anew when Neo arrested a homophobic agitator during a parade. The man sued, claiming bias. Daniel, not involved, advised, stay true. The case dismissed, but it highlighted ongoing scrutiny. Their love deepened through trials. Anniversaries celebrated quietly, a picnic where Neo proposed cohabitation. Move in with me, he said. Daniel accepted, eyes misty. Merging lives brought adjustments, Neo's messiness clashing with Daniel's order, but strengthened bonds. Society's pushback intensified with a bill proposing stricter judicial ethics, indirectly targeting relationships like theirs. Daniel testified against it. Love doesn't corrupt, prejudice does. Neo supported from the gallery, their unity evident. A crisis hit when Neo responded to a domestic call involving a gay couple. Echoes of his past actions haunted him. He handled it empathetically, earning praise. But debriefing with Daniel, emotions surfaced. I could have been that cop hurting them. Daniel reassured. But you're not anymore. Friendships blossomed. They befriended other couples, sharing experiences. One night, over games, Neo reflected, I never imagined this life. Daniel smiled. Neither did I. High drama unfolded in court. Daniel presided over a landmark case on LGBTQ protections. Rulings progressive. Critics accused activism. Supporters cheered. Post-verdict, celebrations turned sour with a protest turning violent. Neo on scene protected Daniel from afar. Exhaustion set in. We need a break, Daniel suggested. A vacation to California, beaches, wine rejuvenated them. Away from Chicago, they dreamed futures. Adoption advocacy. Return brought reality. Neo's promotion denied. Cited controversy. He fought it, winning on appeal. Daniel beamed. Proud of you. As summer peaked, a gala honored them for bridge building. Speeches lauded their courage. But in private, doubts whispered. Is change real or just surface? Neo pondered. They hosted a forum. Debates heated. One attendee challenged, can a cop truly change? Neo responded, yes, with effort. Their story spread, inspiring youth. A teen wrote, you showed me it's okay. It fueled them. Yet the core conflict resurfaced. Daniel's parents visited, awkward but thawing. Neo's family followed suit, bridges mending slowly. In quiet moments, they cherished simplicity, walks, talks, love unwavering. Fall brought introspection as leaves turned. Neo and Daniel settled into cohabitation, their home a sanctuary amid chaos. Mornings started with coffee and kisses, evenings with debates on cases. Neo pursued further education, studying criminology with a focus on equity. Daniel mentored him, their partnership intellectual and emotional. A major trial loomed. A class action suit against the city for discrimination, remnants of the shaving incident. Daniel recused, but testified as witness. His account poignant. That day stripped my dignity, but sparked change. Neo followed, admitting faults. I was part of the problem. Now, I'm part of the solution. The jury awarded damages, mandating reforms. Victory bittersweet, highlighting systemic issues. Post-trial, media frenzy peaked. A joint interview revealed their story authentically. No sensationalism, just truth. Love found us in unlikely places, Daniel said. Neo added, it taught me to see beyond the surface. Social ripples continued. Allies formed coalitions. Opponents dug in. A death threat escalated security, testing resilience. We can't live in fear, Neo declared. Daniel agreed, but worry etched his face. Healing family ties progressed. Neo's parents visited. Dinner tense but genuine. His father admitted, I was wrong to judge. Tears flowed. Forgiveness tentative. Daniel's family followed, sharing stories. Bonds reformed, acceptance growing. Professionally, Neo led a task force on inclusive policing, innovations praised. Daniel ascended to a higher bench, influence expanding. Their love matured, weathering storms. Anniversaries marked with trips, reaffirming commitment. But controversies lingered. A book deal offered. They co-authored, proceeds to charities. He humanized them, sparking dialogues. In the end, as they stood on their balcony overlooking the city lights, Neo wrapped arms around Daniel. From that street to here, unbelievable. Daniel leaned in. Believable because we chose each other. Their journey, fraught with drama and debate, posed a lingering question. Can personal redemption truly reform societal injustices, or does bias always linger beneath the surface?